Hey everyone, and welcome back to Crushing on Candy. Today, we're diving into a topic that trips up a lot of Virginia taxpayers: penalties and interest, specifically the extension penalty. It's a common misconception that getting an extension to file your taxes also means you get an extension to pay them. Unfortunately, that's not how it works in Virginia, and understanding this can save you a lot of money and stress. So, let's break it down together. First things first, Virginia is pretty generous with filing extensions. Every individual filer automatically gets a 6-month extension to file their return. This means if your taxes are normally due on May 1st, you have until November 1st to get that paperwork in. But here's the crucial part. This is an extension to file, not an extension to pay. Your tax payment is still due on the original May 1st deadline. If you don't pay what you owe by then, you could be facing some penalties. Now, Virginia has a few different types of penalties: an extension penalty, a late payment penalty, and a late filing penalty. Each one applies in a different situation. Today, we're focusing solely on the extension penalty. So what is it, and when does it apply? The extension penalty is assessed when you file your return during that 6-month extension period anytime between May 1st and November 1st, and you have a balance due that's more than 10% of your total tax liability for the year. For example, if your total tax bill for the year is $10,000 and you file in August with a balance due of $1,500, that's 15%, which is more than 10%. In this case, you'd likely get hit with the extension penalty. So, how do you avoid it? It's simple, at least in principle. You need to pay at least 90% of your final tax liability by the original May 1st due date. This is often done by making what's called an extension payment. If you know you're going to owe, but you're not ready to file, you can estimate your liability and send in a payment by May 1st to cover at least 90% of it. This single step can protect you from the extension penalty. But what happens if you don't? How is the penalty calculated? The extension penalty is assessed at a rate of 2% per month, or even part of a month, on the balance of tax that you owe when you file your return. This clock starts ticking from the original due date, May 1st, and runs until the date you actually file. Since the extension period is 6 months long, the maximum this penalty can reach is 12% of the tax due. That's 2% times 6 months. Let's use an example to make this clearer. Say your original due date is May 1st, and you file your return on September 15th. That's 4 full months and part of a 5th month after the due date. Let's say you owe $2,000 when you file. The penalty would be calculated for 5 months: May, June, July, August, and September. So that's 2% per month for 5 months, which equals a 10% penalty. On a $2,000 balance, that's a $200 penalty just for not paying enough by the original deadline. Here's another important detail. Even if you pay your full tax bill before the November 1st extension deadline, you might still owe penalties. If you file your return and pay the tax in, say, July, the extension penalty will still apply for the period from May 1st to July. And if you file but don't pay right away, the extension penalty applies up to the filing date, and then a separate late payment penalty could kick in for the time the tax remains unpaid after that. It can get complicated, which is why paying on time is so important. All of this information is available on the official Virginia Department of Taxation website at tax.virginia.gov. I highly recommend checking it out if you want to read the official guidelines for yourself. And that's the breakdown of the Virginia extension penalty. I hope this helps clear things up and empowers you to make smarter decisions come tax time. In our next video, we'll tackle the late payment penalty, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. As always, a quick disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional tax advice. Every financial situation is unique, so please consult with a qualified tax professional to get advice tailored to your specific circumstances. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone else who might benefit. We'll see you in the next one.